Well, welcome to the show, girlfriend. I am so excited to have you. Unsolicited with Gabrielle. I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want to do these days. Okay. I, listen, I just said, you know what? I don't have a theme, a color scheme. I'm, I am just doing what comes natural. I am in the flow. Okay. Like this is my flow. I love talking to people. I love um gathering information, stories. And you, my friend, I we met in shout out to Rachel Rogers. We met in the Hello Seven fam group. Okay. A lot of boss women in there doing their thing.
Yeah.
And what stood out to me for you, first of all, you're an artist, you're a musician, you can sing. Okay. And recently you've been very vocal about your divorce, about your transition,
hmm
and the power of the voice. And I'm like, you know what? I think we need some of that. Okay. So, welcome to the show. Can you tell the people who you are and why you're here?
Yeah. I mean, like again, shout out for that Hello Seven Connect because that's where we originally met. But I've been a performer, a musician, pretty much all my life. Uh, I'm a public speaking coach, and I'm a musician, and I'm a military veteran, and I take those skills and combine them to help people gain more confidence, clarity, and charisma, whether they're talking in the bedroom or the boardroom, whether they're delivering a pitch or a presentation. That's what I help people do.
Period. She said the bedroom or the boardroom tagline. Let me mark that shit. Did you hear what she said? Okay. Let's get
Yeah.
into it. But so the voice, it is such a powerful tool. Many of us I'm gonna maybe ruffle some feathers here.
Say
Many
it.
of us in the culture, our voices, they're suffocating. Ugh, like we have been conditioned not to speak up. We have been conditioned to just keep your head down, little black girl, do the work, don't say shit, don't question nothing, whether that be at the hospital, right,
Mhm.
with our babies being killed, us being killed, whether
Yeah.
that be at work you so stressed out, you about to kill your damn self. Like the voice, it is such a powerful place, the chakra, like however you want to define it, what's to it? Like, why do you think, from your perspective, why do you think our voice has been cut short, silenced, muted? And where are we going with this? Like,
I love this question because this is a societal norm that's been placed upon us. It wasn't ours. We took on somebody else's idea of who we should be and how we should be, and we accepted their lie for truth.
mm,
That's part of that. I'm in that generation where kids were taught to be seen and not heard. And then as a
mm,
black woman, there's the negative stereotype of being the angry black woman if you ever voice an opinion. Whereas if a cis white male said the exact same thing, it's received from a place of power and esteem. But if we say it, it's hold on, let me come off the soapbox. Let me not come off the soapbox. Let me not do that. When we say it, it's received as us being a bitch. It's received as us being bitter. It's received as us. We must be angry about something. But damn it, we got
mm.
we got full rights to be angry about a whole lot here in these United States of America. You mentioned before about using your voice, especially in places as a black mother. The black maternal mortality rates are higher here than anywhere else on the planet. I was almost a statistic. That last kid, that 10-year-old, I had a uterine rupture on the table. This was my third C-section. Like
Oh,
I'm looking to my left and literally watching my life force drain. And it was because the people in the operating room were communicating with me that I was able to remain calm in the midst of a straight up shit storm of my uterus saying blah 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 blah. Like my uterus is like, girl, we done, we
yes.
done. Your voice is your power. Your voice is the vehicle to transform whatever experience you choose to have. Me being a musician, a singer, pianist, performer, I'm there for people's most important moments. I recently sang at someone's 70th birthday party. I've done funerals. I've done weddings. I'm there when those most important moments, those highlights of people's lives, I'm there for that. I'm there to shift the mood of the space. And
Mm,
yes, I'm a musician, but I also teach people how to do that. You don't have to sing to work with me. I'm
right.
showing you the techniques that I use as a singer, and I'm applying that to public speaking.
Mm. So, if you can delve a little bit, not to give away all your sauce, but the people are here to hear what you have to say and learn something, hopefully. What is the secret to cultivating a powerful voice? Like, if we, you know, I don't have a problem with speaking, but sometimes I do find myself afraid or kind of like calculating in my mind what to say, what to hold back, or I've noticed sometime experiencing some sort of anxiety when I know I should be saying something, but I'm afraid of what the other person may think or do, or it's just so much like, girl, just say what the fuck you gotta say. Like, what's to that? And like, is it something that is duplicate that you can duplicate, that can be applied to everybody? Like, what's the secret to cultivating a strong voice?
So the first thing I would say is to get comfortable with how you sound. A lot of times we don't even like how we sound. And for me, that was a foreign thing because I've been listening to the sound of my voice for decades. So it was kind of weird for me to experience that people are like, oh, I don't like how I sound. I'm like, really? Like it's your voice is uniquely yours. Your vocal cords, the shape of your body, all of that comes into play. So I would say get comfortable with how you sound. Record your pitch. Record yourself speaking in whatever it is that you know you're delivering when your elevator pitch kind of thing. Record that and listen to it back. Tweak it for whatever, however you like for it to be. That's the first thing I would say to do. The second thing I would say to do is that people are going to judge you anyway. So why not be your most authentic self? They're going to judge you anyway.
Did you hear what she said? Damned if
And
you
it's
do,
not
damned
your
if you don't.
responsibility how they receive you. That's not your
Right.
responsibility. Your responsibility is to be your most authentic self. And when you do that, you're going to attract the people who resonate with that and you're going to repel the ones who don't. Those frequencies are real, they serve a purpose, and it's all rooted right here. It's here.
Mm. Mm. Wake up. Wake that shit up. I love it. That is so powerful. It's like, damn, you know, I know a lot of people, so I use my voice. I know some people express themselves in different way through dance. I know people who are artists, they
Mhm.
express themselves with their hands, or they're laborers in some way, welders, masonry, whatever. So, you know, how can we, I guess the mode of expression, do you have to speak? I know people who like, I'm a man of not so many words. Like, what's to that? Like, is that a defense mechanism, or you just not a speaker? What do you think about that?
I've seen that element of someone being a master of few words. In my grandfather, my father's father was a man who had a billion kids and a billion grandchildren. And when granddaddy would speak, we responded because we knew he wasn't just saying anything, he was
Right.
making it count.
Right.
Whatever he said, he made it count. He didn't say a lot, but what he said meant a lot. So it's not
Mm,
always how much you say, it's
right.
how you say it and how it's rooted here. He's coming to us from his heart. He ain't trying to hurt us. He's trying to help us.
Right.
So you don't have to be very verbose. You don't have to have a whole dissertation prepared, but I do help people prepare their dissertations.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
it's a real thing. You don't have to say a lot to have a lot take place.
Mm. So when I'm thinking about public speaking, and I'm thinking about people say like, I would rather be dead or shot down than get on the stage. Like, what do you think that's rooted in? Is it I mean, I can kind of guess like our self-consciousness and like, our body dysmorphia. I mean, so many things. Like, what in your experience, how do you help people kind of overcome like baby, you're fine. Like, just go up there and do your thing.
This is what I've seen time and time again. Everybody that I've worked with was told something in their past that wasn't true and they believed it. So one person was like, oh, I've got a Valley Girl accent and nobody's going to listen to me with my Valley Girl accent. Or I have a stutter And I've been told that nobody's going to listen to me with my stutter. And those are the things that make you more relatable. Those are the things that help people
Right.
better connect with you because they see that flaw as a
Right.
feature. It's not a flaw,
Right.
it is a feature. So people are scared of judgment. Period. That's
Yep.
that's it. Full stop. It's the judgment that we're afraid of. Because these are things that still go through my mind after performing for decades. I'm still aware of how I'm being received, even though I know I'm the expert.
Right.
I'm aware of it. You want to leave a lasting impression that gives all the right notes, all the right information. We don't want to. It's because we care about our craft. So I feel like if you don't care about what you're doing, you'll never be nervous. You'll never second guess yourself. You'll. It's because we care that we get nervous. If you're not nervous, I'm worried.
Right. 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 For sure. I'm thinking about, so to your Facebook post, and kind of I want to kind of segue into that. You talked a little bit about just you talked a bit about being vulnerable about divorce, and being open about the experience, and being transparent about what you go through.
Mhm.
Where did that kind of originate for you? And like, did you have what? Who gave you permission
Ha!
to talk about that?
I gave myself permission because I self muted in my marriage. I self muted. I didn't want to kick up any dust. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. I didn't want to cause any alarm or concern. I just wanted to get through it. I just wanted to get through it. I just wanted to survive. And
Mm,
coming out of survival mode and stepping into thrive mode meant that I needed to vocalize and verbalize that experience so that I could process it. You're going to have to deal
mm,
with it one way or another. And I'm trying to find the best way for me to process my experience. And giving voice to that experience what I found is that I'm not alone. What I found is that there are other people who have experienced the same thing, both male, female, and whatever gender you want to put in there. There are people who have gone through, gotten through, or getting through that same kind of thing. And we've created this kind of community where people are finding their way out because I gave the thing a title. I gave the thing a sound. You have to verbalize it. But that's one of the ways that we process. Whether it's a scream, a cry, a shout, a song, a word, we have to verbalize and vocalize that experience. Otherwise, it just sits here in the body.
oh, girl. I mean, I'm having a physical reaction because I have been I have also been going through a transformative, period in my life. After, first of all, after having a damn baby, that shit will girl, I mean, and people just doing it willy nilly. I'm like, how many kids you got?
Unmedicated, just just out here, just wild and
Just
free.
girl. I mean, for real. So my birth story, quick commercial break. I had my baby on the bathroom floor in my bathroom in my apartment with her father. It was just me and him. My midwife came like at the fourth quarter, like with an hour and a half left. She was like, he kept calling her like, are you on the way? She's like, oh, she's just laboring, like, just this is it. This is what it is. I'm like, God, take me to the goddamn hospital. He's like, you can do this. All his little pre-birth training came in. He was like, there are other women birthing with you. I'm like, nigga, take me to the hospital. I'm about to die. What
Because
you
you gotta be
talking
like,
about?
take me to the king.
Literally. But man, after that experience, I'm like, first of all, I'm raising my prices. You're not gonna be talking to me fucking crazy. Like, I'm a tribal warrior. Like, I felt powerful.
Goddess energy.
Goddess. That's the word. I felt like, wow, like something happened to me. Like I am transformed. And that really opened my voice and I was like, I ain't holding back. Because if I hold back something, she's watching now. She gets the end of my silence. And I ain't having it. I'm not trying to raise somebody who's afraid to speak.
That part.
Because, you know, and like that attitude started to change my relationships. That attitude showed up in the room with me.
Yeah.
That attitude started to not swallow if I didn't agree with something there. Like, I ain't about to swallow what I'm finna say. No, hold on. I'm not trying to check you or anything, but I don't agree with that. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but that ain't working for me. Like, I have a voice. And I don't have and my inability to speak up is affecting somebody.
It is affecting somebody else. That was my motivator. That was my motivator to make change came from the 21-year-old. It came from the 21-year-old. He came home for summer to visit. He was like, "Mommy," he basically was like, "Mommy, what the fuck are you doing? Why are we still here? Why are you like, Mommy, get your life." Like, and you know, I don't talk to my kids. Let me, that's not today's topic. But I raise my kids to be able to verbalize exactly what it is that they're feeling in a way that it's not disrespectful, but it lets them know that they have the right to say how they feel. Like right before we came on and did this interview, I accidentally knocked down the 10-year-old's little toy setup. Like, I accidentally knocked it down, and I immediately left the room, but I came back and I said, I apologize for accidentally knocking down your stuff. He was like, and I said, well, were you ever going to tell me you were mad? Or, you know, are you going to go outside and step on a crack and try to break Mommy's back?
Okay.
You know?
Look, don't be harboring no ill will now.
Right.
Like
And so he told me he would have communicated to me that I'm like, are you mad at what happened? Are you mad at me? Or is it both? So being able to give them that language, even at 10, means that the 21-year-old can come to me and say, Mommy, what the
Right.
So when I didn't have a voice for myself, I had the voice for my children. And that turning point, that light, that shift that took place, it lit a fire under my ass. And that was like May of 2023. Come August 2023, we were in our own place, had a new job, new gig. Who this?
I remember the transition, like, you know, in the private Facebook group, just like, hey, y'all, checking in. I'm burnt the fuck out. I don't know. I'm about to go back to the school system. I'm about to do this and whoopty whoopty whoop. So, man, but the vulnerability, again, that's the relatable part. It's like, oh, this is this woman who has all this talent. This is me watching you. This is this woman who has all this talent. She's beautiful. She was in the military like me. And what? Her life ain't perfect? And she's telling us, and she's, you know, it's like it's like powerful. It's like that's not the vision of power that we kind of associate with it, but it is a lingering, subtle power that's like, oh, well, it don't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. Like, you are the co-creator of your life. Like, if you don't like it, change it. Like literally.
Literally. Because when I see people who are afraid to give voice to the thing that needs to be verbalized, that fear in people is sometimes so deeply rooted, they're not gonna get out of their own way. Think about like Nat Turner. Nat Turner, somebody gave him up because they were scared. Somebody snitched on Nat Turner. Somebody working with Harriet Tubman knew to keep their mouth shut because they both had the same goal. Nat Turner had a goal, Harriet Tubman had a goal. Somebody snitched on Nat while everybody else was quiet about Harriet Tubman and her movements. The ones who needed to know knew. And if you didn't need to know, you ain't saying nothing. But that sometimes there's power in silence, and sometimes there's weakness in silence. Sometimes there's power in speaking, and sometimes there's weakness in saying something. Because, like, why are you giving up Nat? Why you telling it? Talking about go tell it on the mountain. You should have kept your mouth shut.
No, literally.
And let me tell you again about that silence, because um, as I stepped back into the classroom after being away for so long, you know, what most people don't know is I've been on paid administrative leave since Friday the 13th September. And I was placed on paid administrative leave because someone verbalized an allegation of abuse.
Mm.
And during that time, I had to be quiet and
Mm.
let God do his thing. I had to be quiet and let God take care of it, because what had happened was, the long and short, the district said one thing. They said, "Oh no, you've inflicted harm upon a child." And I'm like, "Bullshit! I know I ain't."
Right.
In what world? But the investigation done by the authorities said the allegations of abuse were unfounded. All I had to do was be quiet, and the district is paying me to stay home. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And that gave me the time to work in this business, the public speaking business. I
Right.
had to
Right.
reframe that. So
Yes.
when I say what I thought was a wall was actually a window, shit,
Mm.
I was like, how the fuck am I gonna take care of three kids, two in college and one in the fifth grade, and ain't got nobody's child support backing me up? What the fuck am I supposed to be doing now? How am I gonna take care of my family on a teacher salary and my music lesson studio revenue? And that's where the public speaking, like, I was already doing it, but I wasn't vocal about it.
Sure.
And that's where I became more vocal about it. And things are just falling into place. But I had to be quiet just for a little while and let my reputation precede myself, and everything else
Right.
fell into place.
Right. Mm. Reframe. I love that word, baby. I love a good reframe,
Mhm.
because I feel like hmm, that is the magic sauce that will take a failure and turn it into a fortune. And I feel like we just like babe, I tell my friends, like, did you like we reframe it? Like, I'm throwing that shit out like I'm saying something casual, because it's like I need to make the mind casual. I feel like we do not explore the mind for what it's worth. Like, your brain is your most powerful asset. Your body. Like, you can be perfectly healthy physically and your mind be so far in Mars, you a walking zombie. Or you can be so sharp in your mind and be a physical vegetable and still patent new ideas and do all this other shit. We've seen it. So the mind is a, I feel like a tool that we don't, I mean, we don't know how what the full power of it is, but I feel like, we baby, the reframe, that's like the secret sauce.
I
Like,
had to reframe. If I had to reframe. These people, these little people around here, these little tiny people who came up out my body, they are counting on me.
yes,
They are counting on me to win. I must win for them. So I had to change my thoughts so
yes.
that I could take a different action so that I could get a different result.
So let's dig a little deeper into the reframe. So what were your original thoughts, the negative kind of biased thoughts, and then the reframe? How long did it take? Like, is it like overnight, or what is the physical manifestation of a reframe
So
for
what
you?
that looked like for me as I walked through the path from taking that wall and making that wall be a window is initially was shock. Shock. Like, you really telling me, HR lady, that you're sending me home? And well, actually, the shock came when they had the results of their investigation. So initially, I was like, "Oh, cool, y'all investigating? Go right ahead. You know, my reputation precedes me. This student's reputation precedes them. Surely,
Right, right,
you
right,
guys will
right.
see. You'll see the light, and everything will be all right." You
Mm-hmm.
know. And when they came back a week later and they were like, inflicted harm, I'm like, how? Where? Unintentionally inflicted harm. I'm like, where? When? Who? What? When? Who shot John? Who did y'all talk to? And that
Right.
information wasn't available to me. So it went from being cool to being shocked to being angry to being distraught to being depressed, to being desperate, to being.
Oh, yes.
I think the next step was, all right, Takenya, you got to finish having all these feelings so you can formulate a plan for what's next. And what that looked like for me was going on walks and crying and snotting and boo-hooing on my walks. What that looks like was screaming into my pillow when the kids were gone. What that looked like was actually being very plain with my children, even at 21, 18, and 10, explaining to them what is happening. What that looked like was telling my parents and my sister what was going on. So I had some network of community around me that I knew would be supportive. So this was basically me putting my parents on notice, saying like, hey, I'm 46 and a half and I might be moving back home.
Right.
With kids.
Yeah.
that was real. That was real. And so when I finished having all my funky little feelings, I'm not discounting them by calling them funky, but they were funky feelings.
Sure.
I had to find the feelings that led me to a different place. And so what I did was I decided to chase joy and pursue peace. And I had to figure out what that looked like for me. What does it look like for me to chase joy? Oh, I like singing, I like talking, I like communicating with people.
Right.
What does peace look like for me? Going for my walks, that's peaceful.
Yes.
It helps me really get grounded. I know the things that I need to do for me in order to be a better me, because fuck all y'all till I take care of me.
Yep. Literally. Literally.
Like, that phone will stay on red. That message will not be responded to. I answer for my mama. I ain't gonna, because I don't want to get in trouble. I'll answer.
Literally.
That
I'm on my whole life on do not disturb right now. Like,
how, like, I don't know if you heard the phrase how like you can be in the picture but you can't really see the picture. Like I'm in the experience, but I had to step back and put the frame on it so I could see what was really going on. And when I stepped back and looked at what was really going on, what I learned is I don't run shit. Everything I thought I was controlling was running me raggedy.
Ooh.
It was running me raggedy because I know what's best for me. And I had to come to a space of surrender.
Ooh.
When I surrendered, the path became clear. I began to relax. I began to like, oh shit, we ain't missing no meals up in here. Rent still paid. What the fuck? Takenya, chill.
Wow.
Chill.
The surrender.
Surrender was the word I didn't know I needed. Yes. But that was exactly what took place. So I had to be still. I had to surrender, and I had to just let the things move as they were moving. I was not in control of that. And what I was in control of was my time while I'm being paid to stay home. Okay.
Talk about a aha moment. Like, baby, what the you crazy?
Like I don't have to deal with other people's kids and the multiple personalities of those sweet little angel babies.
Right.
I get to stay home and take a nap in the middle. I can go pee whenever I want to pee. Like I can eat whenever I want to eat. I don't have to have teacher bladder. What I thought was a wall was a window.
Wow. Trust. My new affirmation is I trust the process of life. And that has been, I've been like saying that every day for breakfast. Like, I trust the process of life. I trust the process of life. And like, honestly, it gives me a sense of like, girl, if you don't ride your wave and stop trying to interject and do all this other shit and make, no. Calm your black ass down. Ride your wave, get in your flow, and trust your life. Just trust what's happening. Like, for real, find the joy. The Tully who I was on the phone, who I was interviewing before you, we were talking about, he said, smell your roses, and if your shit stink or you don't have no roses, plant some new ones. Like, stop taking the backseat of your life. Like, bro,
you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay
No.
stuck. One thing I told my 18-year-old, my daughter, I call her my light skinned twin, but she don't see it anyway. Like all my kids light skinned. Like where y'all come from? Like I like how they tease each other. Because my daughter has what they call her winter color. Because they were like the boys were like, oh, you're fading away. We can't even see
Right,
you.
right,
You're so light skinned.
right. That's funny.
She got her winter white. Uh,
Right.
The one thing I said to her as she's transitioning from just recently graduating high school and she's in community college and she's in between gigs right now. Coffee shops is where she likes to work.
Sure.
I say, baby, you better FAFO. But it wasn't the fuck around and find out. It was like you need to fail and find out. Fail and figure it out. Fail and figure it out, baby. Because you can't just be stuck on, well, I don't know. I don't know. Pick something.
Right.
Just make a choice. Fail and find out. Well, I didn't
Right.
like that. Or yes, I did like that. But
Yes.
figure it out. Fail and find
Yes.
out.
Right. I love. Okay. That's going to be the episode title. Fail and find out. I love that. So this is the unsolicited podcast. So what is one unsolicited piece of advice you can give our listeners before we close?
Ooh, unsolicited piece of advice to give the listeners. I would say do you, because can't nobody do it better. Just do you. Can't nobody do it better.
Can't nobody do you better than you, boo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you can't do nobody else, then they can do themselves. So you might as well get your shit together and do you. Wear what you want to wear, say what you want to say, open up that chakra, okay? That throat. Not just for the throat goats, okay? It's for the it's for the words,
Yes.
the vision, the passion. Speak up, please. Right? Like the world
Say
is waiting
something.
on your voice. Say
Say
something. If you
something.
see something, say something. They got that shit on the bus.
It's everywhere. Say something. Because when you're silent, what was it that Zora Neale Hurston said? Like, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it or something to that effect. But that Zora Neale Hurston quote is real powerful. They'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. The fuck?
Thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate you. You are very powerful. I appreciate all the advice that you have bestowed upon us, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got going on in the future, baby.
Okay, let me go ahead and subscribe to this podcast.
Subscribe to the podcast, please.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Please rate and review if you're listening. Don't play, okay? And share. Yes. I appreciate you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, girl.
Bye. All right, y'all. That's the show. I hope you enjoyed me and Takenya's conversation. And before we go, here's my unsolicited advice. I know it's hard to go up against the powers that be, whether it's your family, friends, or your workplace. Standing up for yourself is tough. But trust me, from personal experience, it's also one of the most liberating things you can do. It takes time to build up the courage to look someone in the eye and stand your ground. But it's the skill we all need to cultivate. Speaking up for yourself helps open the space between suffering and healing. So my advice, start in your journal. Practice speaking your truth on paper first, and then take it to the person or people in real life. If you feel like you're in danger and absolutely cannot speak up because of violence or fear of retaliation, please reach out to law enforcement or professionals who can help you get to a safe space. No one deserves to live in fear of retaliation simply for speaking up. No one. At the end of the day, understand this. No one benefits from your pain, suffering, or your silence. So take it from me. Hold your ground and honor yourself. And here's the thing. Sometimes silence can also be an effective tool to communicate resistance. The moral of the story, do whatever sets your heart and soul free. And always remember, I love you. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.